What I said to my 6-year-old nephew before taking him on at Super Mario Combat.
No one is getting out of this game alive, literally.
Me when I meet a fellow UK fragrance reviewer for the first time at a fragrance event. And this is me when World War III starts and I realise the human species is about to become extinct.
What a shame.
Hello folks and welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to show you 3 great fragrances that are better than the supposedly greatest vintage fragrance ever, Patou pour Homme. Stay tuned. Before we do that, don't forget that my recommended UK-based fragrance sampling site is Fragrance Samples UK, a stunning array of designer and niche fragrances, and I've got a code for you. The code Mr. Smelly 10 gets you 10% off across the entire site. My recommended USA-based fragrance sampling site is the Fragrance Decant Boutique. That's decantboutique.com. I have the same code for you. Mr. Smelly 10 gets you 10% off a stunning array of designer and niche choices on that site. Both places are linked in the description of this video. Okay, so if you are interested your vintage fragrances, and some of my followers are, because that's the kind of thing I really like, then you may have heard about Patou pour Homme. Very hard to find, a 1980 release. It is a great aromatic fougere. It's really nice, it's well rounded, it's green, it's got lavender, it's got oak moss in proportions that they can't use anymore. It's a tremendous fragrance. It's really nice stuff. I snagged a £250 bottle of the aftershave here in a sprayer, and that's quite a lot of money to pay, especially for an aftershave. Was it worth it? Debatable. Is it my favourite vintage fragrance in my collection? No, not by a long way. Actually, I have a much cheaper bottle that I bought, which is Paco Rabanne pour Homme. Very similar kind of smell. I'm not saying they're really the same fragrance, but same kind of thing. Both have aged a bit in the bottle, not in a terrible way. They age quite well. They're both nice, and there's not a lot in it as to which one's best. I've got 3 that are actually definitely, qualitatively to me, more enjoyable, more crowd-pleasing fragrances, and if you are lucky enough to find them in their old formula, you can find them for much better prices, and there are also more of them out there than Patou pour Homme. First of all, Monsieur de Givenchy, 1959 release. This bottle's probably from the 1980s. It's held up so perfectly in the bottle. I think it's aged less than my Patou pour Homme aftershave in the bottle. It's fresh, it's zesty, it's soapy, it's green, it's gentlemanly, it's very dapper, and it's a really superb smelling fragrance. The modern reissue, reformulation version doesn't suck, it's quite nice, but if you can get the vintage one, it's really good, and I picked it up for about £50 for a 50ml splash. You can put it in an atomizer, or you can just splash with reckless abandon. It's up to you. So check out Monsieur de Givenchy, an underrated gem, and every bit as good, I promise you, although very different in smell, as Patou pour Homme. Don't forget, folks, we have an amazing offer on for Gravitas pour Homme. Our special summer offer gets you that fragrance for just £70 posted in the UK, or $90 posted in the USA. NortonandWilson.com, linked in the description. Next up, we have Dolce & Gabbana pour Homme, 1994 release, the first release from Dolce & Gabbana, the first masculine release, a superb citrus fragrance, citrus, woody, herbal, with a twist of green tobacco leaf in there. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. If you can get the stickered version, the version with the sticker on the bottle, it's made in Italy, it's been made by Euro Italia, and it smells sensational. Ladies really like this one. It's soapy, it's fresh, it's masculine, it's pleasing, and it's probably more of a crowd pleaser than Patou pour Homme. There are loads of them still out there. I'm not saying you can easily pick one up whenever you want, but especially if you're prepared to settle for the aftershave, which is by no means going to be massively inferior to the Eau de Toilette. It's just a slightly lower concentration. You can find one of these. If you want one, you'll get it, because I've had 4, 5, probably 6 bottles over the years, and I've used a lot of them up. Great juice. Okay, last but not least, Eau Sauvage. If you can find a bottle that has the orange box, then you know it's vintage. Also, some of the bottle shapes out there guarantee that it was a vintage era. This one does look very similar to the modern formula, but it's a fantastic citrus aromatic fragrance by perfumer Edmund Rodnitska. Back in 1966 it was released. Really fresh, really crowd pleasing. Citrus, jasmine, rosemary, oak moss again in there in a concentration that they can't use anymore if you get the vintage one. The modern versions of all 3 of these, reissued or whatever you want to call it, are still good, but the vintages are better and they are findable. Hang in there, get one of these 3 vintage fragrances, and I promise you, you won't regret it. Patou pour Homme, well worth trying. If you're lucky enough to find it for a real bargain price, go for it, but don't go spending £500, etc. for it. If you'd like to support me on the channel, please join the channel and become a channel member for an extra video every week. Or if you want to watch those videos and you don't want to join a YouTube channel, you can support me on Patreon, Mr. Smelly 1977. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project, and although sometimes life can stink, at least we can always smell good, right?
Right, this is the bit where he poses for the thumbnail. What a prat.